state and direct taxes, I mean income tax, corporation tax, property tax, and indirect taxes, GST also they have reduced. And as well as under the contractually fiscal policy, government is increasing debt also. Government is taking debt from World Bank, from IMF, from other places also. The government is burdening with this debt also. And now for a country like India, because monetary measures and fiscal measures are not enough, but we are not like US, we are not like we are developing country and these are the developed countries. So ultimately we cannot stretch our budget much more. So ultimately government they should take steps, they should focus, and government is already doing. This one is the selective allocation of the resources according to priority, medical spaces, mass, quarantine, and as well as communication of national emergency, as well as collection of the accurate data of health, so that government can intervene time to time, and government is already doing all these things. And there is, apart from this, how the government can benefit it through this COVID-19, how we have to come out from this recession. Basically, a most important task is geopolitical advantage. Now, Trump versus China. Obviously, India will get the benefit of this Trump versus China, because most of the industries they will shift to our country, and ultimately we have to create more employment. And moment we will create more employment, people have more money in their hand, and they will spend in the market, they will create demand, and ultimately when they create demand and money circulation will start, and economy will come out of this recession period. And this the China and India versus people. I mean, other countries they don't want to establish their industries in China. They want to shift their industry from China to India. And Japan is already declared. Japan is shifting to our country, and other countries also shifting their plants into our country. So ultimately, that would be helpful to create employment. And this will be my concluding slide. Blessings in disguise and Indian context. Rapid pace of digitization. Mr. Pradhan Modi, he was talking about digitization, digital India, and automatically, quickly, it was shifting to digitization. हम लोगों ने भी, जिसमें हमारे बहुत सारे faculty members ऐसे थे जिनको क्लास लेना नहीं आता था Zoom पर, how we have to take class, how we have to take class on Google Meet, but now we are taking very efficiently on Microsoft 365. We are taking classes, and students also very comfortable to take attend these classes on this digital platform. River Ganga, Namami Gange, that was the project under the supervision of the USA, and clear cleaning of the river Ganga, Haridwar rivers nearby Dehradun. I have seen Haridwar Ganga, and it's very clean. This one is the mitigation of environmental pollution, improved AQI, air quality index is already increased. It was already improved, and increase in glacial lines. We can see from Saharanpur, we have click photograph glacier lines, and earlier it was not visible. Biodiversity of animal and plants, we have seen such kind of birds also, that was rarely we have seen, and increased production of fruits, grains, and other agri-based products also. But I would say I would conclude this thing, but not at the cost of human life. So ultimately, we have to look into it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Surekha Gupta ji, for your thought-provoking presentations. Now it's time to switch over to the last, but not least, the last presenter of this webinar, Mr. Ritesh.
Hello everyone. Good morning to
Please
everyone of
start
you.
your evaluation.
Thanks. Good morning to everyone. It's too early in the morning for me. Usually on Saturdays we didn't wake up by 7:19 a.m. But it's a moment that when I get an opportunity to talk in front of all of you, and so yeah, I would say thanks to the organizing committee of PG College for arranging this web session, and special thanks to Mr. Tripathi, Dr. Tripathi, I would say, Dr. Tripathi, Dr. Garg, and Dr. A.P. Singh. And we and the other prominent speakers, those who have joined this the webinar. And let me give my small introduction. I'm a software professional working in the multinational company of India here in Canada. I worked across the globe, starting from the south, from Australia, Philippines, UK, Ireland, different parts of Europe, and then Canada and US. Looking into all these countries, and I have got lots of exposure to work with the different societies, get to know about the different people, how they work, how they live, how they react. And that just because of this pandemic, we are locked down, we cannot move around, and definitely it's a little bit frustrating for everyone. But this kind of webinars sessions are definitely uh, very good when the people are interacting with each other and talking to each other, sharing their ideas, sharing how the other part of the world is that behaving or reacting, and all the things which probably I didn't get chance because of the early morning. I didn't get the chance to listen half of the speakers, but whomsoever I have listened, it was a great experience, and it's good that we are thinking on all those different directions. So I wouldn't go for that the history of pandemics. I have seen that Rohit has already covered all the things, like what all sorts of pandemics we have, what all things we have seen in the past. But one thing which we have to see, that the humanity never stopped because of these hurdles. We always moved. We have improved our way of living. We improved our way of taking the actions after each every terrifying attacks. But now once again, when the history is repeating himself, now it's a time for us to realize what we actually lost and what we are losing, and how we are going to change the world in the near future. And definitely that we have thousands of negative points to blame the pandemics, but we need to if we will really focus, this pandemic has gives an opportunity to think beyond, it pushed us to think decades ahead of a time. So like, take an example. If I will say that this novel coronavirus outbreak has impacted many sectors. I think almost every sector has impacted because of this, and it has given a very hard battle for each of these sectors. If I'll talk about the healthcare sectors, so whether it is a US or it's India or a China, every individual country has seen that it's brutally collapsed the entire healthcare system. So now this is an opportunity. We need to think that how we have to change and how we have to improvise our the healthcare system. If I'll talk about the Canada, the Canada has seen the last pandemic, and immediately after that they have changed their healthcare system. They have improved them, and you can't believe, like, here we don't have to pay anything for the healthcare upfront. Whatever we are paying is a part of taxes that is going to get utilized into our healthcare facilities. Yeah, whether I'm going for my heart transplant, whether I'm going for a that any crucial disease. India has in the news I have seen that there is a lot much cost of for paying for the coronavirus checkups, small tests, hospitalization, and everything. Now people require the specific insurance and all those things, but here we don't need to worry about the reason behind that. We These countries has already prepared for the any sort of disaster management thing, but we are still not focusing on those areas. So this is the time when government has to think on the area of disaster management. Not only for the healthcare, but in terms of an education. I have seen that the education sector has also completely stopped because of this coronavirus. Definitely, the schools are stopped here as well, but we did little that much better performance. I would say instead of completely stopping, but still we are not at our best. The reason being, we do have the free data facility. If we'll talk about Canada, if I am paying the like for the 1 GB data or the 2 GB data, I'm paying thousands of dollars to that take 1 GB data for the entire month. The reason being that the geographically the Canada is big, population is less, the consumers are less, and that's why we don't we have to pay for the data. But every individual have the enough money to use buy the data and get into the education sector. But if you'll talk about the India, we have Geo. Unlimited data is there, but still we do not have the enough facility to call out our student for the web classes, tell them to go and join the classes, give the online examination. Still, I have seen. You all are the most of them are professors, so you might have seen that how big your hurdle is to that involving all the students, calling them for that or at least just informing them, just because lots of the newspaper has been stopped because of the COVID-19. So it's another big hurdle. So I would suggest that this is the opportunity when we can start the online classes appropriately and set up it into so nicely that the person who is living in the rural area will be capable enough to fight that to join the classes. He don't need to move to the different cities. And now the another sector I will talk about is the employment. Definitely, employment is going through the worst phase, and it is going more worst because of the recession, as the economist and the other people has shown their data that the economy is going to get impacted. Probably, we may go down to the V shape or the U shape or the W shape. So it doesn't matter how which shape we will go through that, and this is not the first time we are going to see the economy is going to get hit, but we need to get ready for to see how these employment sectors are going to get hit. I'm quite happy to see that that couple of investors are investing on India, and they are going to that generate lots of employment for the people, and but still there is a lot much a huge amount of public. If you'll see like in the couple of months before, we have seen how people were walking from Bombay to UP or to other part of the country, and they were just walking thousands of kilometers just because they didn't have the proper employment. They were not even able to survive for a couple of months or a couple of weeks or days time. So we need to understand how poorer our condition is, and this is the time, and these are the things which they have to understand to whom they have to vote for. Our political parties are actually thinking about the development, or they are just talking about the development. So these are the factors we need to realize, that it's not only about the one particular party or the other party. We need to think who is that performing well, who is really interested to develop our economy. So that matters a lot. I know that the kind of education we have, the 95% people does not even understand the economy word. So what things that for them, that if you'll give them $100 for the probably they will change their mind to give the vote. So the reason behind that, they don't understand the impact of economy. They didn't understand these things, and that's why like when it comes for the election, we focus on who made the better noise. Okay, if you see that, okay, the one particular party is there who is making lots of noise in the street, so let's give the vote for that person. So we are not focusing, or we are thinking like that let's focus on this is more closer to my society. He belongs to my street, he belongs to my state, let's give the vote to them. But we didn't compare them that how exactly they want to grown up our economy or the society. The oil, gas, and energy sector is the another one, which is, I should say, the backbone for all all the sectors. And the China is the leading the oil and gas energy sector competitor who is competing with the US. And just because he is impacted badly, that the petrol prices went down to 50 barrel per gallon. So uh, it, this is showing that it is going to impact the US market, and when the US market is going to get impacted, it is directly going to impact India very badly. So I know the government is thinking in all this direction, but it's not only government's responsibility. We need to understand our social responsibilities, like how we need to cooperate with the government, right? When Mr. Modi has come up with the idea, let's play some tunes to come out into your balconies and do something. It was just to encourage people. Those are working and fighting throughout the day to protect our people.
But we have seen the criticism against that as well. So we need to understand what is our social responsibilities and how closely we all are connected to each other, right? If I talk about the chain of transportation, that's also badly disturbed. And when I talk about the chain of transportation, if there is another idea come up into my mind, is like how closely we are connected with the entire world now. Did we ever think that the one person who's sitting in the China, whether it is the virus came from the lab or whether the virus is coming from the Wuhan market, doesn't matter where it came from, but how one person did something wrong is affected the entire world. So this is the chain how we are closely connected with. This is the time when the technology has joined us very closely, right? So we need to understand these things. We need to understand our responsibilities, and instead of fighting on the religious matters, that this is we give the importance to our religion and focus on those areas. I would say on these things and control the COVID-19, because your each and every person who is taking with one incorrect action is impacting the entire country. The entire world is going to get affected by that.
And one more, the last important sector which the government has pandemic, and we have the big list of history of pandemics. So I would say that the government has to focus on the more on the research side, so that we can save our humanity in the upcoming future. So the technologies are there, and we are keep